Welcome to another MotherTheSunCooking.com. Today I'm going to make lemon bars. A lady across the street showed me how to make this. Mother kind of made a version of it a long time ago. I kind of like hers a little bit better. You know, cooking comes back in and you kind of adapt your ways. I'm just kind of reviewing some of the items. As you can see, in just about all my videos, I have everything out. I find that it makes it so easy and you don't forget anything. There's three things to this recipe. First, you got to make a crust. Over here I've got two. I'm going to make two of them because we're going to a party tonight and I want some left over, and who knows, they might eat them all. But in that bowl and that bowl over there, I have got 2 cups of flour, and I'll shift it before I put it in the blender. I got a 1/4 cup of white sugar powder in it, and over here I've got a cup, but I'm going to make a double recipe, so I got 2 cups of butter. I'll mix that over here into my food processor. This is the easiest way to do it, to make your crust. Then what you do, you come back in and you're going to make your filling. Because I'm making a double batch, I've got 8 eggs over there. I'll beat them up a little bit. I've got 2 cups of sugar here, which I'll add to it and mix together. And then I have, it takes 1/3 of a cup because I'm making a double batch. I've got 2/3 of a cup of the lemon juice. Then you come back in and you're going to need, for the icing or whatever on top, 1/2 cup. Of course, I got a cup because I'm making double batch. 2 tablespoons of baking powder, only takes 1, and I got 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar, actually 8. Taking my shifter here and one of the bowls over there of the mixture for the crust. I've come back in, I've shifted it very good, and you know, shifting it just makes it a little bit better. So what we're going to do, we're going to come over here and we're going to use the butter. I'm going to dump all the flour in and we're going to make the dough. Come back in, I've made my dough with a food processor. Like I say, you got to come back and cut it in. Now I'm going to come over here. I've got a nice little pan that I'm going to come back in. It's been well oiled so it won't stick, and I'll spread the bottom of the pie crust on the bottom. Come back in, mix the bottom of the lemon cakes. You can see I've got 2 pans there. I've preheated the oven to 350. We're going to cook it for 25 to 30 minutes until it's nice and done. Then we'll come back in, we'll make the topping and the icing that goes on. Come back in, I mix the 8 eggs, which only takes 4 if you're making 1. 2 cups of sugar, 1 for it, 1/3 cup of juice, kind of mix it up. And crust is in the oven cooking, because 2 of it's going to take a little bit longer. You're supposed to come back and stir this up for about 2 minutes. I've done it for about 3, just kind of getting it nice and ready to come back in and pour on the top of the crust. Then I was telling you a minute ago, you know, cook the crust in the oven for 20-25 minutes. Actually, 7 to 20 minutes. Then what we're going to do, we're going to pour this filling on top of the pie crust, and I'll put it back in the oven, and it says about 25 minutes because 2 of them might take a little bit longer. Pulled out the 2 pans that I'm going to make these lemon bars in. You can see they've risen up a little bit. I'll let them cool just a little bit. Then I'll pour the filling on top, and then we're going to come back in and put them back in the oven for it says 25 minutes, until it gets good and set up. One of the nice things that, you know, really makes this a real nice little tangy lemon bar is the lemon juice. If I had the extra limes, I would have squeezed fresh lemon, but lemon juice does very good. So I'm going to let that cool a little bit, pour it on top. And I poured the filling that goes over the top. This will fluff up very nicely because of the eggs. Give it a nice little crunch on the bottom with the pie crust. Adds a nice flavor to it. And then, you know, what Mom would always do, she'd come back and make a little bit of extra stuff while we were sitting around so we could taste on. So I'm going to pop that in the oven for the 25-30 minutes, and we'll see where we're at. Bars in the 2 pans. I made the double pan for tonight. I've taken it out, and you can see it's kind of nice and brown. It's still warm and everything. What I'm going to do now, I've got my powdered sugar and the other ingredients mixed in, and I'm going to sprinkle it on top. The reason you want to sprinkle it on top, well, it's still a little hot. It will melt into the lemon bar cake. Sprinkle it with the icing topping on top. It'll set up and make for a nice little taste on the lemon bar cake. I know we all have busy lives, but you should have seen my aunts, mothers, and of course they were raised on the farm. You know, they didn't have to work, but they had very busy schedules. I learned quite a bit from them, watching them take care of the kids, clean the house, getting everything prepared. I started at 8 o'clock this morning. I fixed me a nice breakfast, some like they showed. Since then, I've watered the yard. I've trimmed my rose bushes and my trees out. I've cleaned my bathrooms. I've washed 3 loads of clothes. I've gone to the grocery store. I've talked to the garden show about issues with the yard. I called a friend of mine in Ohio to talk to him for 20 minutes. I talked to my son probably 15 minutes on the phone. I've cleaned the floors. I've vacuumed. I need to go to the mall to pick up some gifts. I've done my daily emails that I normally do. I normally get about 20 to 30. And, you know, I've come back and cleaned up. So I really think that, you know, these excuses, well, I just don't have time to do this. It's now 11:30. In 3.5 hours, I've pretty much accomplished everything that I've talked about. So, you know, it's one of those things. If you do a little bit of planning, you got a little bit of energy, you can do a lot more with your life. And that's some of the things that, you know, I learned from my mother, my uncles, my dad. You know, these kids says, well, I can't even clean my room. Guess what? I don't buy that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this session of mother-to-son-cooking.com, and I hope it's a recipe you'll try. I'll take these up tonight up to our little reunion with about 20 of our old friends. We're going to have a nice dinner. I'll give them the recipes, and I'll guarantee you some of them will cook these lemon bars. So if you take a little effort, a little time, a little bit of planning with your life, you can accomplish a lot. I think that's kind of reason that, you know, like my grandfather, he lived to 94. Most of my aunts and everything lived well in their 80s. They did work hard. They did do a lot. So, you know, take lessons from your environment. And if you don't like your environment, get out of your environment and find things you like to do. Bon appetit. mother-to-son-cooking.com